Tia Christine Young, and I represent Iblum Houston. Today, I have the unique pleasure of being in the presence of Prophetess LaWanda Davis.
Amen.
I actually met her over a year ago
Amen.
in Austin, Texas. It was really the first connection that God um, blessed me with because we connected through Facebook, and at that time that was new for me. And then, from what I understand, Prophetess LaWanda, she usually doesn't, respond to that type of thing, and it has just really been a blessing. She has been a mentor in my life. I wanted to take the time to basically update the iBloom audience, those who have been supporting and watching and may have saw our first interview, with what she's been up to, because there's a lot going on with women in the making.
Amen.
So she decided to come on in and.
Since the last time that we talked, I have launched a outreach event in Houston, Texas. I moved from Austin to Houston, which was a very big adjustment. But God was actually moving me toward Houston. When He moved me toward Houston, I had some concerns, and I was very doubtful for coming to, especially the community in which I now reside. But the first event that God gave me was an outreach event for the South Side, Sunnyside area, because it is noticed to be one of the most dangerous areas in the state of Texas. Yes, it is. So God gave me the outreach event called Prophetess out of Ezekiel 37 and 4, prophesying to the dry bones of the community.
Because you have a very large network of nonprofit organizations and ministries that you network with all across the United States, actually.
Yes.
That's one thing I wasn't aware of, but Prophetess LaWanda has been, in the ministry for a while.
For quite a bit, for quite a long time.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So the call for prophesy, what really propelled you, forward with that?
I'm a gatherer, and I'm not the type of minister that just sit around and twiddle her thumbs. I have to always be building. I have to always be gathering. So when I did make it to the area in which now I reside, like I said, there was a lot of uncomfortability, and there was a lot of question, and there was a lot of, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, because the transition from Austin to Houston was a big transition, demographically and also spiritually. But when I got in that area, and because it was so uncomfortable to me, I began to start seeking God on, okay, why do you have me in this area? There is so much going on. The crime rate here is so high. And then, there was like 2 or 3 shootings down the street from where I was staying at. And so God began to start ministering to me about Ezekiel, and Ezekiel being in the valley of the dry bones. And when God asked Ezekiel, man of God, can these bones still live? And actually, that's what God was saying to me. Can these bones still live? And Ezekiel said, Lord, you know. But long around the 4th verse, he said, well, prophesy. So he gave me the theme, prophesy, for the community to come together and start prophesying to the dry bones of that community, start taking over that territory. And so my first actual contacts were contacts of the churches that are in that area. That has been kind of slow, because sometimes outreach is not just where the church is at, but ministry is really outside of the walls of the church. And it took some time for me to see that.
Yeah.
But stepping out from the walls of the church, now I see what the outreach community actually needs. And they may not never come to church.
Right.
So, we have to step out our comfort zones and go and propel them.
Right.
It's all about the souls.
Right.
We're supposed to go to church to get energized, or to get some type of direction, or to prepare us to go and bring in the souls. So that's what I'm learning now, is to go out and actually propel them to come, because there are so many things going on in the world, and what God is concerned about is about the souls. Ministry is never about the individual. It's always about the souls.
That's right. That is true. That is so true. I think, actually, I hate to share this because I know it's going to make some people laugh, but I was watching the documentary, I don't know if you can call it a documentary, but on A&E about Compton. I forget what they call it, but it just talks about Compton and from I think the 70s, early 70s, how the community started. And initially it was like this well-to-do community, and I remember sitting up there and I was laying in my bed because I didn't know that, I grew up in the 90s, so I kind of thought, I'm thinking rap, Compton, drugs, Bloods and Crips and all of that. But they actually did do a good job of explaining that this community really was like a model community. They had the first black mayor. I'm not going to go into a lot of history on that because you can go look that up. But I will say that I was thoroughly impressed. But then as they started to explain how things turned, the Black Panther movement was there, and the FBI saw the Black Panthers as a threat when all these men really were trying to do was teach the people how to get up and, build something, be proud of. And I heard the Lord say to me, and the church stopped praying.
Amen.
Sometimes we see stuff on the news and we're like, oh my God, how did God let this happen? No.
Amen.
We can't blame everything on God. Yes, he's an omnipotent God. Yes, he's all powerful, everything. But he commanded us to pray without ceasing.
Amen.
So when we see things in our community, like you say, you're in the community and you seeing things, the brothers on the corner, or you seeing, really, it's not you doing it. Like you said, it's not about me because I get up and pray and throw my hands up in the air and fall out on the ground. Oh, now everything's going to change. No. It's me petitioning God and saying, God, change this thing. This can't be. This can't be. And I know that, I think it's Mary that gave me a testimony one time about something that happened, praying and how things just began to change. There's probably hundreds of them. But when we really realize as the church what our job is, we are soldiers. We're supposed to be ever watchful, on the wall, praying for the people. So I'm sorry, I'm about to be caught up there.
I'm caught up with you. Amen.
But it's so true. So prophesy. So when is the date, or are we still working on getting a date and everything? Because I know,
Yes, I'm still working on getting a date. Like I said, the support has not been conducive to the vision. However, that don't stop me.
Right.
The only thing I do is step back, get another angle of it, and go toward it at another position.
Yes. Okay, well, we will look forward to that as long as Prophetess Davis has time in her schedule, because she does travel around preaching the gospel and praying for people, and she's always available. When I call, sometimes she may not be available at that time, but she always gets back to me. And sometimes, I'm like, oh yeah. People in the church, we have to be respectful of our leaders. We have pastors and pastors' wives and deacons and who are strong in the faith, and they're able to impart wisdom to us. We have to be careful about getting mad because they can't drop everything and attend to us at that, I'm having a crisis and I need the sister. You can't do that, because you never know what the woman or the man of God is facing. So I'm sorry, that's just Tia's little tidbit. I just want to throw that out because I have been surrounded by a lot of powerful women, and their ministry takes. I'm not the only person they have to sow into. So we have to be patient with them.
Amen.
But I'm so thankful for this woman of God, and it's not the last time. Anything else, Prophetess?
I just want what I've learned and what I've been learning in this season, and what God has been actually saying to me is He's actually speaking to the church, and He's telling the church to get right, church.
Yes.
We have to get our perception and our prospects in order. We have to understand that I feel, and it's just a personal feeling, that when you're in church, the anointing, the only thing they do is just whips. We need to take these anointings and these different offices, and we have to take it back. We have to take it to the streets, because we live in the end times, and there are so many events that's happening. And I'm talking about events that's taking out multitudes of people. It's not one or two people anymore. It's multitudes of people. And I'm sitting back saying that don't get nobody's attention, because it definitely so got mine. So I started changing my perceptions on stuff. And from my perception, I used to think that it was all about in the conference. But what we do, we saving each other. We supposed to all be saved in the church anyway. Everybody coming to the church supposed to be saved anyway. Then we leave out of there and we really think we've been done something. But the only thing we've done is energize one another. And we're supposed to be taking it back out into the streets, y'all. It's all about the souls. We're supposed to be in church to get energized. We're supposed to come to church to get fixed. In order for us to be able to go out there and prepare them. But until God's voice be heard and the church catch on to it, things are going to continue to happen. It's all about the souls. Ministry is never about you. It's always about the souls. Amen.
Huh.